Hey, Hey, welcome back to another, man, I look tired. Another episode of Blockchain Basement. My name is TJ. We're going to have a great show today. A little bit early start today, a little bit early finish. Have an appointment at 2 that we cannot miss, so have to make sure to do that. As always, welcome into our favorite basement dwellers. I'll start with the room, and then I'll go to our real favorites, you guys. But Crypto Sunglasses, the one and only, walked back in, ended his vacation early just to be here in the basement with you guys. So that's true dedication.
What?
We got Taco here as well, and everybody's favorite neighbor, Drew Prepper Crypto, Ali B joining us as always, reading your questions from the chat. And real quick, Piccolo, Rick, Razmataz, Daniac, riddled with puns, Steezo, the real Crypto Stevo, Sofa King, Puin, Casino Doggy. I saw Corey in here earlier. Casino, yeah. So anyway. Always love having all of you guys join us here today. We, love doing the show with you guys, chatting with you guys. Had some interesting, he's talking about me. I'm his favorite. Yeah, riddled with punch interrupter. I did see somebody said morning show on YouTube, not the same without the basement. It isn't. I miss you guys. You guys were the main ones I would chat with the most. Don't interfere with my dinner today. I won't, Casino Doggy. Don't you worry. You got dinner all to yourself. So we're going to be talking about, what was the title for today's episode, Drew? What did I make it?
Oh, Bitcoin's dead.
Bitcoin is dead. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about some again for the I'm sure there's where is it? It's a Bitcoin obituaries, right? Where they show like all the times Bitcoin has been pronounced dead. Yeah, don't look at my lunch, guys. Sorry, I'm eating my lunch. I'm trying to hide it behind Nick's head.
You got pho?
I think it's like Thanksgiving leftovers. I'm not really sure. DCA. Okay. Dollar cost average is what DCA is.
Yeah. Plus one in the chat if you like pho.
Yeah, plus one. I do love pho.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I love
great.
pho.
Yeah. I think Twitch chat is a bit more stable than YouTube chat. It's a lot less delay.
It really is.
The delay kind of kills the direct engagement, I feel like, on YouTube. It's okay. But anyway, if you guys are here on the live show, we absolutely appreciate you guys. Twitch.tv/BitBoy or BitBoy_crypto if you guys want to join us for the live show. If you're hearing it any other places or seeing it any other places, clips, etc., hang out, come join us, or smash a like, subscribe, do all the things, tell your friends, share the videos, because this is the best place to talk crypto. So I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Will Clement sent this out, and I'm sorry I missed you guys Friday. We had our company Christmas party. I just got got slammed. But this was a fun chart that Clement put out there, where like here 2015 Bitcoin is dead. 2019 Bitcoin is dead. And I heard this so loud in 2019. Bitcoin is dead. It's never coming back. Let's see. Peanut. If you want to kill inflation, kill BTC. The biggest holders are criminals. Agree to disagree. But you can do your own research.
You're just describing politicians.
Yeah, I was gonna say the biggest holders are criminals, drugs, and tax evasion people. That's of wealth in the world, I guess you would say. People who hold the most wealth are probably tax evaders, drug people, criminals, but
AKA politicians.
AKA politicians, governments, world.
I think
basically rich and powerful.
Besides exchange wallets, TJ, I think it's who is the biggest holder? A Sailor, and then
Grayscale and MicroStrategy basically would be the largest holders of Bitcoin. Clear, publicly traded, reputable companies, reputable people. Definitely not drug lords and criminals.
Nope.
Dollar, on the other hand, totally different.
Pretty much
discussion.
100%. Yeah.
But I just wanted to remind you guys, you're going to hear it a lot. You're going to hear if this is the beginning. So what this is right here, it's amazing how hard that sell-off is, though. That's really like, we're really like right here. So
as far as time
goes, so you're going to hear for a long time, Bitcoin is dead for much, much, much longer. He shared a couple other ones that show, same thing, Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is dead. However, the network continues to get stronger. The price continues to rise, same thing. There's just different ways to look at, the Bitcoin price over time. This is a pretty cool one. The cumulative value days destroyed.
What?
I looked it up. Bitcoin has been declared dead over 465 times.
Right.
465 times?
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
This looks like the internet adoption graph.
Yeah. It is very similar. Yeah, where you've got it going up and then the price correcting back to it.
What does that mean, Drew? Where is it going?
I don't
Parabolic.
know.
I mean, it's going down?
It's not going to be this sexy in 2030. I think that the time that I'm going to make my real money is within the next decade. From what I'm looking at this graph and the internet adoption rate, that's what I'm thinking. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, where it's going to go is up and to the right, at least for now. If we're following the internet adoption curve. So this is another one, same thing. We've looked at a lot of these before.
Yeah.
These are all from Glassnode. These show typical like accumulation and sell-off regions and zones. But again, every time Bitcoin gets way down in these zones, everybody out there saying it's dead. It's never coming back. You should sell all your crypto assets. Now, I don't think it's dead. I didn't think it was dead in 2019. I didn't think it was. I don't think it's dead right now. I actually have a lot more conviction now. I feel like it was tough. 2019, at least for me, I almost got shaken out by the end of 2019, where it felt like we're in this inflationary economy where Bitcoin should be doing well. It should be used. People thought it was going to be a hedge. It wasn't being used as a hedge. There was a lot of macroeconomic uncertainty, a lot of issues with privacy and the dollar. And it's just like, now's the time for Bitcoin to crush. And it just didn't. And it was in your mind, it was about a year delay. And that's what I think we're going to see right now, where it seems like everybody should be rushing to Bitcoin right now for an inflation hedge or to, preserve wealth because there's so much inflation, there's such high interest rates, there's so much geopolitical uncertainty, and a lot of that just takes a lot longer to play out than you think it would. Like if you're an individual like Drew or me or Nick or anybody sitting in here, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move my money from this place to this place, and it takes you, maybe a week on the long end. If you're, maybe two if you're, if you're trying to. I don't know, if you're doing real estate, it might take a little bit longer, but for the most part, you can get it done in a week or two. If you're a government and you're trying to move hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, like it's going to take time to position. You're not just going to rush in. So I want to caution everybody through next year, 2023, and we'll look at an interesting chart here later in the show that kind of an add-on from what DZ and I were looking at this morning that shows all the cycles, over time. And I want to caution you guys not to get FOMO that you're missing the bottom or to rush in, because you're going to have plenty of time to accumulate, and Bitcoin's not dead. Now, let's talk about the things that could kill Bitcoin because it's also not great out there right now, guys. It's a little dicey. It's feeling dire. You got Binance FUD all over the place. And real quick, before we get into this, I'm going to ask, and I'm going to jump around a little bit today because we've got Binance news to look at. Solvent, are they solvent? Are they insolvent? Now they're buying Voyager for $1 billion. Nick, what's your take on all of this Binance FUD? Have you been on Twitter at all over the week? I know you were out of town, but everybody's been going crazy about buying. Mike Alfred specifically has just been saying, sell everything. This is going down. It's a burning building. Do you think that's, and I don't think it's insolvent, but it's hard for me to hard stamp that they're fine. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think it's okay, but they appear to have not taken any sort of hits with the Alameda fallout, and I don't think that that's realistic.
Right.
And the fact that CZ is doing a lot of the posturing and using a lot of the same language that SBF was using earlier this year.
Scary, right?
Yeah, so it's like he's strong manning himself. But I think the regulators and the Binance haters smell blood in the water, so they're trying to dogpile on this. Yeah, and I think, would Binance going down destroy crypto? No. If Tether went down, that would be really bad. But either way, like, the big boys in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of the other more stable blockchains, they're going to survive pretty much no matter what. There's very few things out there that can actually kill blockchain and crypto for forever, ever. And Binance going down is not one of them.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it could slow down the growth of the industry, could, change the timeline in the curve. But like you said, Bitcoin and I got distracted by Bitcoin, Rick. I'm sorry.
Here, I'll save you. So hang on. Sophie Cryptic, I just want to let you know, like, none of my random grinder hookups, like, I'm on all the apps, bro. Like, seriously, my body count, like, can't be touched. So where you at, bro? What's your body count? What's your body count in the chat?
Yeah.
Also want to answer Joseph. Christmas party was great. What did you guys think, though?
Oh yeah, Christmas party. Yeah, the Christmas party was fun. I mean, it wasn't anything wild. Did you guys do anything afterwards, Taco? Did anybody go anywhere or do anything? Or do you know?
Just DZ came over. We were playing some blackjack. I was the house.
Okay.
And
That's fun.
I was paying all their money, so I was happy.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. The Christmas party was good. You know, for a Christmas party,
Food was really good.
food was solid.
Drinks
People,
were
I mean,
good.
my favorite thing is just the people. Like we have such awesome people here, and I had several people. You know, like spouses and friends and
Lots
stuff.
of kids.
Lots
There
of
was
kids.
like 25 kids
Yeah.
this time.
And they kept coming up to me and saying like, man, these guys have such cool, you know, like Drew's super cool, Nick's cool, Taco's cool. You know, we got DZ and Frank and Brian. We just have so many, you know, and then Steven and Nina. Like we just have great people with really interesting takes and very smart, forward-thinking people. So are you sending it on the Polygon? See, I've been trying to sell. Oh, gotcha.
Oh
That's
yeah,
answering.
a question from the chat was Bubba's Crypto. I've been trying to sell a couple Trump cards. Every time I try to send ETH to my Poly wallet, it automatically goes to my ETH wallet, and I can't seem to get it into my Poly wallet. Does that make sense? Anyone have some advice?
Taco?
If you're sending it from Coinbase to your MetaMask, make sure you're sending it on the Polygon network. If you're trying to swap or like bridge from like Ethereum to Polygon, I would use the official Polygon bridge.
It's a quick swap.
You can QuickSwap might have a bridge, but if you just go to like the official Polygon wallet
Yeah.
website, they have a bridge feature, and it usually takes like 5 to 10 minutes. So that's probably your problem. You just have to send it on the right network.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna have to move us through here because I have a lot of stories that I wanted to talk to. But I agree. Casino Doggy said Binance is fine. Big smoke screen to take the heat off FTX and the feds, which I tend to agree with. It's a lot of finger pointing. You know, like we hear it with Kevin O'Leary every time something comes up about FTX. Oh, Binance took him down. Binance took him down. Binance took him down. Now, it is concerning, like Nick said, the fact that we don't have more transparency into their stuff, the positioning, the sentiment isn't great around it, but I do think they're going to pull through it. But a couple things, this I saw was very interesting. FTX Bank, and this, you guys, if you've been watching the show for a while, right when we started about a month ago, we talked a lot about Silvergate and their ties to this entire industry. This was interesting. They got nailed with a class action suit for aiding and abetting fraud, breach of fiduciary duties, and unjust enrichment for processing transactions from FTX to Alameda. Silvergate probably should have blown the whistle, meaning Silvergate was the one taking these cash deposits in dollars and sending them over to Alameda, or basically banking Alameda. Now they're getting hit with a lot. I don't think this is necessarily their fiduciary responsibility. Their responsibility was to Alameda, I would assume, and to FTX. But you know, if they start attacking Silvergate and Silvergate goes down, that would, again, won't kill Bitcoin, won't kill Ethereum. There's been much worse things that have happened that Bitcoin will still march on. But it will it will massively impact the industry and slow down the pace and the rate of growth. We were talking about the internet adoption curve. It would completely wipe us off of that adoption curve if something like Silvergate or Binance were to go down. So something to keep on your radar. I don't know how much of this is, you know, again, misdirection or just lawyers trying to get anything they can. You know, class action lawsuits, again, they just are what they are. So keep that in mind. I saw this, just thought it was funny. Z, Nekos, Solana lost 97% of its developers from 24,000 or 2,453 in January. Now there's 75 left. Total number of active mainstream blockchain developers dropped from 3,700 to 1,600. Big yikes for Sol. I mean, that's the chart right there.
Where did they go?
Yeah. Where did they go?
Polygon?
Polygon. I wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Cardano.
could be Cardano. Yeah. That's where at least a lot of the traders that were trading, because Solana very common for NFTs at the time. A lot of those NFT people went to either Matic or Cardano. You know, and you think you need something fast. I would assume Matic or layer 2s on Ethereum most likely. So Bitcoin not dead, Ethereum not dead, Sol might be dead. Might be dead.
A little bit.
You need developers. So
Stezox, would EMP destroy blockchain? It would have to be a global EMP event. As long as someone has a full node on a hard drive somewhere and connects back up to the internet, which by the way, you can connect to the internet over like radio.
I was going to say
it's slow.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It may take you a year to finish a block, but yeah, that's the answer
What's
to that
EMP
question.
for us beginners?
Electromagnetic pulse.
basically,
So
if you ever seen a movie when they shoot that, they push that
Oh,
button and it knocks out all the power.
yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what an EMP is. And and that question comes up a lot with crypto, with digital payments, digital currencies, and if there's a global EMP that wipes out all power, we have huge
bigger
problems,
problem. Yeah.
much bigger than a payments network. Like, yes, it will get back up. There will be a digital payments network that is available for people to transact because it will be a priority. But your first priority is going to be like water and food, and a lot of those infrastructure systems will be down. You'll be like, there was a show about this.
There's a couple of them. Yeah.
It was one called like Revolution or something like Revolut around that, where it's like if the whole world lost power, what would happen?
Yeah, it's
and
called a Carrington event. Is when a sunspot basically throws an EMP wave at the Earth, and it would go it would hit the Earth and like wrap around it and like basically nuke all of our. It wouldn't nuke it, but it would render all electronics that are based on transistors and not vacuum switches, render them useless. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that happens, you better hope you have.
I'm praying for that to happen every day.
You are.
Well, you know, Drew's ready. You know, like this. If that happens, the people in this building will probably be prepared. So
a Carrington event actually happened in the 1800s in the U.S.
Yep.
It only hits a section of the Earth, so it does not wrap. And yeah, a worldwide EMP event would be counterproductive to the attacker because it would also wipe their own systems out. So there's no real way for a human to shut down all the electronics all at once without shutting their own system.
And again, the incentive for doing that would have to be something extremely nefarious, I would say, because you're going to be causing a lot of pain, a lot of death, a lot of, you know, it's basically, those are war games kind of stuff you're dealing with. So
I wish I had you guys in the room with me when I was trying to argue Bitcoin blockchain's case against like this older gentleman who's all about like gold and just the way that the financial realm is set up right now. You guys would have like shut him up. I feel like.
Yeah. I thought you were reading from the chat at first, and I was like, oh no, he's just actually telling a real story. You know, that's funny. Yeah. No, that's what's fun when you have friends and, you know, other people that do it with you, because you have all the information like right at the tip of your mind sometimes, and then they ask you and you're like, wait, I should know this. I know this. I've had this conversation. What is it? Yeah, just throat punch him, Taco. That usually works.
Absolutely.
It was his grandpa, man. Walk chill. Jeez. Yeah, shut the old folks. No, we love our old people. There's plenty of Nick's an old person, guys. Come on. No,
Yeah, guys, I'm like basically a
old
boomer.
I'm feeling
at this
like
point.
an old person at this point. I mean,
But the boomers have most of the wealth in the United States.
Facts.
And so if we can get them to start moving their wealth out of TradFi into Bitcoin and crypto, TradFi would. You think Kevin O'Leary screaming his head off right now is annoying? It would get way more annoying, but that's what we need from them.
Because, you know, a lot of them still feel like we're on the gold standard.
mm-hmm.
Like when I brought that up, that's one fact I hit him with. And he was like, wait, what do you mean? We're not backed by gold?
Right.
So he looked it up and he was like shocked.
Yeah.
That's
Gold
awesome.
and diamonds are an illusion of wealth. Piccolo Rick. Yeah.
Teach them and help them.
We had this huge debate in the NFT office. And Allie, you might be someone who could answer this. So if you have a real diamond that was mined from the earth or a chemically made diamond, which one would you want?
Definitely the real
one, right?
diamond made from the earth.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, like chemically they're the same, but like you yourself, you know that this one was like man-made.
Well, let me flip this on you, Taco.
Okay.
All right. If you can have a picture and one is actually minted on the blockchain yourself, and one is just an image, and aesthetically, and you know, the images and the data is exactly the same, but one is from the blockchain and one is a copy. Which would you prefer?
Blockchain.
There you go. Same concept, different
Value
comparison.
equals time plus effort.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So whatever.
And what somebody where does what somebody's willing to pay fit into that?
That's what they're factoring into.
Time plus effort.
Yes. When they're making that calculation, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Time. You say time plus or time?
Time plus effort.
Okay, I multiplied.
Yeah. Or multiply effort, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, how valuable is it?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to other things that could kill Bitcoin. Sorry, it's, I just got to move us through here. This is another one, again, tied to Silvergate, tied to DCG. DZ and I were talking a lot about Digital Currency Group this morning. If Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF dreams fail, the firm might try to tender an offer, which is basically selling a large part of the capital reserve. I thought this was funny.
Barry posted this?
Barry posted it. And it's a I'll read the article in just a minute. And I thought Udi's reply was funny. He's like, "Hey Barry, how you doing, man?" He's just looking forward to getting this year behind us, bro. Like,
jeez,
not loving it. So this is a brief kind of take on basically what they're looking to do is return a portion of the capital to its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust if the SEC refuses to approve its spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund.
Which it will.
One option is to offer tender for up to 20% of the outstanding GBTC shares, which are currently trading at 49% discount to net asset value. Grayscale has been knocking back multiple times in its, or has been knocked back multiple times in its mission to convert its Bitcoin trust into an ETF. Basically, if they can convert it to an ETF, they could get a huge influx of capital, I would imagine, pretty quickly. Yep. If they can't, they're kind of in limbo right now. And that's the issue. GBTC is a child company of Digital Currency Group. Digital Currency Group is facing a liquidity crisis right now, but Grayscale is their crown jewel. And basically, all of their money is sitting in there, and they can't really get it out. So I'm thinking this tender option for up to 20%, that gets DCG the liquidity they need to keep everything going and to keep there was another company that apparently they aren't paying out right now. I can't remember the name of it from the morning show. Basically, Digital Currency Group owes $1 billion something to this other lender that is kind of pushing those payments down the line. They haven't stopped their withdrawals yet, you know, on
Gemini?
the other end. But what's that?
Gemini?
No, it's not Gemini. It's not Genesis. It's
okay.
a completely other. I wish I could find it, but so what's interesting to me, this could save Digital Currency Group, prevent another major insolvency, but it would essentially cut the legs out of Grayscale and won't ever let it probably see the full vision that they once had for, you know, Grayscale, which again.
Whoa. Look who's in the chat.
What?
Jay Childs.
Johnny Childs.
Oh, hey, Dutch Crypto Exchange. Oh, there you go. He brought the he was the one who pulled it for the morning show this morning. Bitvava was that crypto exchange. So DCG owes a Dutch crypto exchange approximately $1 billion.
Whoa.
And they haven't paused their withdrawals yet, but they're like, look, we need this money. And so this is again part of the contagion everybody keeps talking about with all these FTX stuff. But my issue is, why not approve the ETF? Security Exchange Commission, I don't know if it's in here, basically says the only reason they're not approving it is because Bitcoin's a volatile asset and it's been known to be used in nefarious ways, so we're not going to give you an ETF. But we're going to get futures ETFs, we're going to give all sorts of other ETFs, but not Grayscale.
This is exactly what they did to gold in the 30s.
Really?
In the beginning. Absolutely. They throttled gold, only allowed the leverage trading essentially of gold market. They would not let spot happen.
Was this before or after the confiscation?
It was after.
Interesting.
So
they continued.
So they knew basically they had gone after and collected all the gold that they could, and then they prevented other people from getting exposure to it and hoarded it all themselves, got the price in an approximate range they wanted it to, and then said, okay, now you guys can buy it.
That is the poison.
Society looks at gold bugs like they're nuts. Since the 70s, and if you held gold to the 30s, you're made. You've got all kinds of money, but everyone was pushed away because it was too volatile, and we got to control it, and blah blah.
I think that is a pointy end of the stick if Bitcoin does become a global currency, especially one the United States uses, because they confiscated the gold when they wanted the gold. When they wanted gold to be the reserve currency, and if they want Bitcoin to be that, they will confiscate the Bitcoin. I think.
Well, we're hearing, starting to hear rumors from Capitol Hill about cryptocurrency bans and, you know, digital asset bans and some of those sort of things. Somebody was saying in the chat this morning, oh, we know official bear market bottom is when China bans Bitcoin. What if the U.S. does it this time? That would be quite the take. And now a little bit more on BlackRock. This is another thing interesting when it's coming from, you know, Reuters has been all over Binance recently, basically saying that their books look like a black box filing show, and they're trying to rally confidence. I know they're having issues, you know, getting audited. A lot of auditors, the top 4 auditors are refusing to audit Binance, which is interesting to me. Why, you know, like what's their reasoning, why they wouldn't want to do this? A lot of it's just kind of, I don't know, bizarre to me, but also seems like par for the course when you need fear in the market, when you need negativity. You know, I mean, it just looks like, you know, negativity all the way around. Binance corporate filing shows that the business is a giant, you know, but basically they processed over $22 trillion of swaps this year. They declined to say where they're based, you know, but a lot of this, when I look at it, this is nothing new when it comes to Binance. This is all stuff that they've been fighting with regulators about the whole time. They have their own project, you know, they don't, it lends customers to money against their crypto assets and trade on margin with borrowed funds, but it doesn't detail how big the bets are and expose Binance to that risk. So bottom line is there's not full transparency into their books, which is ironic considering they were the ones pushing for that with all of this stuff. But it also seems like most of the time there's all this noise and then a pretty simple answer, and then a whole bunch more noise and a pretty simple answer. So again, I'm not worried about them not having capital reserves. And I'm not too worried that regulators don't love them, because in my opinion, that's part of being in crypto. You should, I like that Kraken and Jesse Powell pushes back against the regulators. And I like that CZ doesn't just bend over for all the regulators. So I don't know.
Are these big auditing firms located in the United States? Or are they...
Some are. The top, they consider the big four. I think most of them are in the US as far as I know.
So do you think that could possibly be a reason why, like, someone like the U.S. government is telling them not to?
Yeah, I think so. I think they want there to be fear and confusion and distrust around Binance. I think they want. See, Big Four auditors saying they won't audit private crypto companies. Deloitte only does Coinbase because they're public company, is what I've seen. So they're saying they don't do private companies.
Should have done Voyager.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I had a call with Voyager guy over the weekend.
Interesting.
Yep. Former executive from Voyager. So I think we'll have a big Voyager video coming out on BitBoy Crypto soon.
Cool. Well, segue. Binance US set to acquire Voyager Digital for up to $1 billion. So
TJ, we make a good team.
We do make a good team. Appreciate you, Nick. Glad to have you back.
He told you beforehand, before this was released.
It's called Show Prep Taco.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like,
we're professionals.
Your guy from Voyager told you that.
Yeah, Nick knew this was going to happen long before.
He was longed Voyager.
Oh, definitely.
So is that why you got a new car out?
Voyager token up 35% on this news apparently on the day. For those of you who don't know, FTX US was positioned. I think it says it right there. Was in the position to acquire the firm's asset with an offer of $1.4 billion. According to the new press release on the 19th, Binance US will acquire assets of the crypto lender Voyager Digital for basically $1 billion, even a little bit over. After review of strategic options, the firm said that Binance US represented the highest, best bid for the assets. Company's claim. This was interesting to me. The company's claims against Three Arrows Capital remain with the bankruptcy estate, and any future recovery on these and other non-related claims will be distributed to the estate's creditors. The Binance US bid aims to return crypto customers in kind in accordance with the court-approved disbursements and platform capabilities. So that means, Three Arrows Capital owed Voyager money. And so if they're able to claim anything back from the Three Arrows Capital bankruptcy, then that will come to Voyager. Part of this Binance buyout will be to help Voyager customers get their funds back. So I know we have a lot of people in our audience that are on Voyager or have used Voyager. So if you're one of those people, I think it was in April. Yeah, the date is set to close. The deal is set to close April 18th, 2023. Binance has agreed to make $10 million deposit in good faith for them to cover expenses. In the meantime, around $15 million. So again, if Binance was worried about solvency and Leaf Jr. If Binance was worried about solvency, I don't think they'd be out there buying $1 billion other exchange assets. But I do think it's a great purchase. I think this will pay off kind of tenfold for them.
We got to make sure now banned first time chat looks like they're having trouble with some Bit Squad merch.
Yeah, I see that.
Bitcoin is nuts.
We're going to tackle that one. Just speaking out loud. So
Okay. So I'm having trouble getting responses on my Bit merch. Bought the wrong size. Can you have someone check them? Yes, we're transitioning some stuff around merch right here at the end of the year. So we will have somebody get back to you on that ASAP. Yes, but FTX were also about to buy Voyager. Just saying. True. Good point, Chemistry Bro. They were quote about to buy it. That's what's scary about all this Binance stuff. Is almost like what Nick was saying. CZ's following the SBF playbook almost exactly. Tweeting very confidently, making public claims, pointing to, strong positions and all those sorts of things, buying, acquiring and kind of propping up the whole industry. I don't know. Binance spend their money reinvesting, not buying stadiums and celebrity endorsements. True. I agree with that as well. I don't know.
It is ironic, Razzmatazz, that crypto exchanges, we have to hold them to these standards, but banks, they don't have to hold any reserves at all.
It's ridiculous.
But if an exchange is operating legitimately, it should have your customer assets 1-to-1, and it shouldn't be playing around with leverage like FTX and Alameda was. So
Yeah, well, and they should be making money hand over fist too.
Yeah.
These things are making any time like they said they processed $22 trillion worth of trades, and they're making a fee on essentially, unless you're holding BNB, I guess, but you're a fee on almost all of those transactions. You're making money like crazy. You should have plenty to back your customers' funds 1-to-1 and plenty to reinvest. Yeah, government insurance, screw banks. Yeah, FDIC is a scam, guys. It's there to insure the banks. It's not there to insure you.
And what's the bank now that's allowing 2% Bitcoin reserves?
Fidelity.
Fidelity.
Well, no, that's
Yep.
So
they're ahead of the
Hey.
curve. They've been positioning themselves to take advantage of this for quite a long time. So I'm going to shift gears here. Those are all the reasons Bitcoin is gonna, is in trouble. These are some of the reasons I think it's gonna start looking up. So Bitcoin, this was, I thought, very interesting. I'm not going to read this whole article, but David Puel was more or less saying the 3 things he needs to see: network and he basically, where are the other 2? Hold on, give me 1 second. Bitcoin network activity is underwhelming. Somewhere in here, the 3 factors. On-chain 3 factors are still needed. 1, holding behavior for long-term investors. 2, painful losses from short-term investors. 3, network activity across the board. Personally, seeing 1 and 2, 3 is still underwhelming, meaning the network activity, which is like, if you're looking at who's trading Bitcoin, nobody is, especially over the weekend. If you look at new things happening, it's still positive and it's growing, but it's not growing at nearly the rate you would want it to be to give you that bullish, like, upward trajectory. And you can see it almost right. This was the graph I thought was really interesting that I wanted us to look at. I love looking at the cycles laid over top of each other over time. You hear me talk about it all the time. Time is the most important factor. So if we pull this up, blue there is the first cycle. That's the kind of 2014-15 double cycle, so to speak. Number 2 is the 2017-18 market, where we blew up all the way here. And then number 3, the yellow one, is where we're in right now. So you can see, if we punch in here, here we're right in that range where everything's just dribbling along the bottom here, following a very consistent pattern where you can see boom, boom, drop, sideways. Boom, drop, sideways, and then again, we're right on in the green here, where in the 2017 market started to move back up, got that fake out rally and pulled back down, which you could see also happened in other ones. Oh, now I'm stuck. There we go. So like this right here, this is your next year that you're going to experience. And then the halving, next halving comes in over here. So we're in that long sideways consolidation. I think somewhere in the middle of next year, we'll see a little bit of a rally. You keep hearing me talk about, maybe back up to 28 or something like that, and then pull back down before we hit the halving. So I think, again, we're right on track. This graph, I love looking at, the time graph. Network activity will catch up. It almost always does. I know miners are waiting. There was, I think, another 7% reduction coming in on the mining. So this to me was a very reassuring graph to look at, because it makes me, and again, this is another thing you guys can look at, is you have time to accumulate anywhere in, again, it went all the way up to 14K. We thought we were all missed it, but then, came all the way back down to about 3,800 over here. Now this is the pandemic crash. This is a little less likely. So just keep that in mind as you move. As you invest, you're likely going to see a dip not too long before the halving.
That is such a tight range.
It is,
there,
right?
Where it's trapped right there.
Yeah, and it feels great for us to know, like, hey, if you look at this graph and you don't think this is a good accumulation range right here, I don't know what to tell you. But and this is right where we are right now in the middle of the halving cycle. So, just again, keep that in mind as you invest. And this is something, I'm going to ask kind of all you guys, this is something we're talking about just upstairs. TJ, hey man, I don't know how many, how many you got to work with, Battle Bucks. If you have more than 2, definitely 2, I don't know. You got 50-50, I don't know. But let me ask you this. So do you preference on buying the absolute bottom versus waiting for a confirmed uptrend? Nick, what's your take on that?
I kind of agree with what you were saying about there being another
potential
fake out rally next year. Yeah, I think there's going to be just unnecessary and baseless euphoria over a Fed rate hike pivot, like a Fed pivot. Be like, oh my God, interest rates. And then go, "Weren't."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Crypto Rex says DCA is statistically paid off. Basically, somebody asked me before we came down, hey, did you buy anything over the weekend? I'm like, I thought about it. I know we're near a bottom. Yeah, somebody said they've been DCAing since 15.5. I tend to, because I bought all through 2019, basically, nonstop. I just I DCA'd from all through 2018 and 2019, and then was fortunate that I had a little influx in 2020 right before things started kicking back up. And, I did well with all those purchases, but now the thought process is, if you've got a large set, say you've got $100,000 sitting on the side that you want to get into this market, or $10,000 or $1,000 or whatever it is, and you don't want it, and you're probably going to do it in a couple chunks. I'm now leaning towards waiting till I'm confident it's moving back up and, getting into that action versus, doing anything too hard right now. And what I would tell people is don't panic. You've got probably another solid 6 months to 9 months to accumulate this. So that's what I would say. Drew, where are you at when it comes to accumulating? Do you wait? Do you need to nail the bottom? Do you wait for you to see an uptrend? So like, for example, when I was buying Ethereum, I was buying it a lot between 1 and 200 all in that time during 2019. Well, in 2020, it finally broke up towards 300 again. And it's like, okay, I'm feeling really good. We're right at we're at the halving. I think it was close. It was right before or right after the halving in May. It broke up to 300. So it's like, all right, we're at the halving. Clear breakout. Now I'm going hard at $300 Ethereum. Even though I was buying some at 100 and 200, I probably spent the most at 300 because I felt confident it was going to be moving up after that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in buying right now. I started buying. I bought a pretty big chunk at 17.5. And then just weekly DCA and bought another big chunk at 15.5. My average DCA is just $50 a week of my paycheck, always going into high risk, high reward type bags. And my bigger purchases are on either a Bitcoin or Ethereum. I do like trying to catch the bottoms. I know it's hard to do, but I got lucky with COVID. Got a feel for kind of the market sentiment and the hopelessness in the markets and how to lean towards that, and learned that the best defense is a good offense. So that's kind of how I operate. Every time I see real bloody days, I'm out there buying it, even if it's my own.
That's a good strategy too. I like to do that as well. Just if you've got stuff on the sidelines and you get a major correction, even if you think it's going to correct more, buy a little bit. That's what I like to do. Let's see. I had a couple things in here. What's the next Ethereum, Steve-O? It's probably Ethereum. Hate to break it to you. Yep. Basically put my limit orders on. Let's see. It's always tough because no one knows where the bottom was until they look back in hindsight. That's true. You don't know until you're moving up again and you don't retest it. That, like right now, 15.5 or 15.8 or whatever it was the bottom, unless we go lower, right. And, assuming we don't, and we were looking decent up until, I don't know where we're at right now. I didn't even look at the price before the show.
Like 16.7, I bet.
Yeah, we're not, I really wanted to hold 16.8 because it was looking decent above 16.8 for, a decently long trend, but now it's kind of fading away. Somebody said, real talk, how much ADA do I need to retire?
Ooh.
How much do you need to live on when you retire, I guess is the
I was going to say.
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah.
Crypto Crow came out with a video on Cardano. His take for the next bull market. He thinks it could get up to $7.22. So if you're scaling in right about in this area, and if we get down to like 10 cents, I'll let you do the math on that one. But that's his low end prediction, $7.22.
We were talking about that last week, TJ, or maybe the week before. Like, it's way easier to find 10x coins than that 1 or 2 100x coins.
Yeah,
so
I tend to agree.
As of right now, like ADA, and I think actually a lot of these calculations are a little skewed because they're not taking into account the inflation rate for these coins. It's like Cardano has a pretty healthy inflation rate. So, and like Bitcoin, PS, just so we all know, Bitcoin is inflationary right now. It's a deflationary asset, but there are more being made right now.
Controlled.
Yeah, it's a very controlled inflation. And Cardano's is much higher than Bitcoin. So we need to factor that into our calculations. when
You're
doing
the
that.
same thing you need to do when you're looking at Doge. Same thing you need to do when you're looking at Sheep. All
Yep.
those kind of things. Smells delicious. It's Thanksgiving leftover something or other. Not literally, but it's like a pre-prepared. It's turkey. It's sweet potato. It's Brussels sprouts.
It's not just prepared; it's pre-prepared.
It's pre-prepared. It's pre-prepared. Yeah.
I have a question.
Cranberries in there. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry if you already answered this, but the new type trader asks, what is everyone's solution if government just goes wild and blacklists every Bitcoin address? Bitcoin can be tracked and will become tainted by any address that is blacklisted. Is XMR a better Bitcoin?
Is XMR a better
Monero.
Bitcoin? I would say no. It's not a better store of value. If that it depends on what you consider Bitcoin is. Peer-to-peer, anonymous transacting, possibly.
They don't even have a mobile wallet, though, do they?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
How would they blacklist every Bitcoin address?
Just any
Just make a list.
any BTC, any
And
node that's accessing the Bitcoin network.
And again, though, but they'd only be able to blacklist it on exchanges and blacklist it on things that are compliant with them. They would never be able to blacklist you, Taco, from sending me something.
Oh, that's okay.
That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
won't peer-to-peer. They can't stop,
P2P,
and that's the
yeah.
beauty of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They can only, but where they can constrict is what I will say. They can't stop, but what they can constrict the flow is the on ramps and off ramps, getting it from your bank account to an exchange. Doing swaps and some of those services, which is why we like to say, decentralized exchanges are the way to go. Apex Exchange is one we use right here now that you can trade completely self-custody, completely no KYC. Now, you don't have a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, but you're able to get in there, do swaps, and do all that kind of stuff. We'll put the link in the description below if you guys are interested in that. It's a really good one.
In comes JM Bullion.
Oh, wait.
What are they going to do to JM Bullion in this situation?
Oh, there you
They're
go.
going to slap one of the largest curators of gold bullion in the world for processing transactions in Bitcoin? Not going to happen.
You don't. What they could say that it's illegal and they're not allowed to, right?
Yeah.
They could try, but there's a lot of corporate red tape, and I think this country's ran by corporations more than politicians at this point. So,
Well, what if the corporations want to stop it?
um,
It's the banks that want to stop it. The banks are the ones pulling the strings of the
it's
government.
true. It's true. I had to throw that in there just. For
Yeah, no, I like it. Get JM Bullion. That's what you use to on ramp and off ramp, correct?
Yeah.
Shout out to Grekkisk Online.
Yeah.
Hello from Sweden. I enjoy this conversation. Very useful for daily news. Welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for
Grekkisk.
stopping by the basement.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. What do you think Casper potential is? More of a 10x or more of a 100x in the next, or somewhere in between? Nick, what do you think?
We did a video on Casper about a month ago. I think it's a quality project. I don't know if I think it's going to be tied up in a lot of government stuff. So I think its multiple is capped at 10. I think 10x is the absolute best case scenario for Casper. So
Corey Harden said, what is the point of privacy coins other than for shady or illegal activities? There's a lot of, actually started to do a video on this, on the values of privacy as a human right. Like it needs to be preserved even if you are doing perfectly legal and non-nefarious activities. It's a human right. That's the point of it. You should be able to have it if you want it, and if you can't have it, that's a problem. Now, if what you're doing, that's completely up to you. The graph is solid concept. Let's see.
it's just a distributed ledger. It's probably not going to pump. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like when you say, "What do you think about it?" It's like, what do I think about when it comes to price or when it comes to concept and use case and technology?
Yeah.
Can you scroll up on the chat? Just like
Yeah.
That is not the number
3
one
or
use for the
4.
puns.
So like riddle with puns, like here's the thing about privacy. It's the same thing about ownership. Like when you get when you're in Hollywood or whatever, and you get managers or you have a podcast and someone wants to come in and basically buy your podcast, or you're a band and they're trying to get the rights to your music. What do they want? What are they trying to do? They want the ownership of your thing, right? It's important to them. So what is the government always trying to do? It's always trying to take the thing, privacy, from you. It is important to them. So if it's important to the government, and it's a one-way street, PS, with the government and privacy, right? So if you think about it, if it's important to the people with the most amount of money, it should be important to you.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, normies have the hardest time seeing any value in privacy. And I've said this before, privacy is like a long driveway, right? Like it keeps you separate from other people, and it allows you not only security, but it allows other people to not be all up in your business. Case in point, if you are a woman in a relationship with a man that abuses you, or you're a missionary in a foreign country and you're trying to move money around, or you're a hospital in Ukraine and the entire banking system has been shut down.
Or maybe you're a truck driver in Canada and just want to protest.
And maybe you're a truck driver in Canada and you just want to protest, okay? You deserve privacy. And that is how you do, that's a means for why you would want to do private transactions, okay? If I'm trying to give money to a missionary in Iran, if I send them dollars, as soon as those dollars show up in a bank account attached to their name, those missionaries are dead, okay? So I can send them XMR, and it's private, and it's just a channel between me and the sender, and that's how commerce should be. There should be no middleman.
Yeah!
Yes, preach it.
Give me privacy or give me death, says the real Crypto Steve-O.
There it is.
Let's go. Great rant there, Nick. Really appreciate that, and I agree 100%. There are plenty of reasons. It's kind of like a free speech, right? It's the right to privacy is very closely tied to the right of free speech. You know, like so people, you know. Anyway, he just explained it, so I won't go back through it. So speaking of free speech, speaking of privacy, speaking of controversy,
hey,
we're coming into the Twitter sphere here. Elon Musk talking about finding a new CEO. Somebody, Reuters said, I've been talking to Elon Musk to hire someone as Twitter CEO from the beginning. That way, when things go wrong, you can blame that person, but you still ultimately control as the owner. He said, the question is not finding a CEO. The question is finding a CEO who can keep Twitter alive. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, he ran a poll over the weekend. It said, should I step down as CEO of Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll. He did lose the poll. What do you think? I was talking about on the morning show with DZ. I think he thought he already knew the results of that poll. He already knew he wanted to step down unless it was a resounding yes, he wasn't going to. Elon isn't stepping down. He was looking for bots, says Crypto Rex. I think he is. I think he needs funding, and big money is telling him, we can give you some money, but you can't be CEO of 3 different companies. We need a dedicated CEO for Twitter, you know, and you can be the owner, you can be the marketer, you can do strategy, you can do product, you can do design, you can do, you know, customer feedback and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But we need somebody running the day-to-day operations as the CEO.
Yep.
This was an interesting suggestion we had. Oh, wait, I thought this was attached. He said, fan suggestion, Elon, let me run Twitter for a bit. No salary, all in, focus on great engineering, increase the amount of love in the world. This is from Lex Freeman.
Yeah.
And I thought he replied to this. I thought I had it. Basically, somewhere in there, Elon, oh, here it is. Elon said, you must like pain a lot. One catch, you have to invest your life savings in Twitter, and it has been in the fast lane towards bankruptcy since May. You still want the job. And he said, yeah, we'll turn it around. Which I think goes a long way to show, you know, where Elon's head's at. Like, yeah, I need another CEO to take this thing, but also my life savings tied up in it, and it's going down fast. Who's going to be more motivated to save this thing than me?
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? He stays as CEO, doesn't stay as CEO? Taco, what do you think?
Ooh, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Nick,
obviously thinking about it since he put that poll out. I mean, I know Ben and then Crypto Rex said he was looking for bots, or that's the reason why. Short answer, I'm gonna say, yeah, he's looking for someone else to step in so he can focus on other things.
Do you think, Nick? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think a different CEO would do better?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's call a spade here. This is by Elon's own words. He is autistic, and he needs that engaging activity of engineering plus management to operate at 100%. Okay, so those soft skills, like how, and I go back to when he said, hey, I put in this rule about the promoting other companies thing, and that was dumb, and I should have done it by a vote, so I'm sorry. So he needs to, and he understands this, he knows this already. Mm-hmm. So he is at his best when he's at SpaceX and Tesla, engaging those parts of his genius brain, okay? Like the soft skills of human, like the human-to-human soft skills, those are not as great.
Yeah.
So he's playing to his strengths. He knows what he's doing. Elon is playing 8D chess. Okay. So if you think that this is some off the cuff thing that he hasn't thought through, no, incorrect.
Yeah.
You are a fool.
Yeah. I agree. I tend to agree 100%. I think somebody said it in here. I think he's got a short list of CEOs already. Like I said, there was images of him at the World Cup, presumably talking to potential investors. Again, if I'm a potential investor, a CEO, a clear, dedicated CEO is a pretty, obvious request, I would think.
Yeah.
And I think doing all of this publicly, like you said, it is all strategy. It's positioning. Tom from MySpace was one of the top picks.
That
Yeah,
would
somebody
be a
did
good
say
pick.
that. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That'd
So
be a deep pick.
yeah, that'd be a good one.
Lex is a great idea.
What's that?
Lex is good. Lex is a good.
Yeah,
pick.
well, I had a counterpoint to Lex's, Autism Capital. Some people might say it's Caroline, some people might not, but please don't do this. Lex Friedman is the epitome of the tech bro who does psychedelics one time, discovers empathy, and then annoys the crap out of every person he talks to for the rest of time, which he will claim is just a man-made concept.
That's just fun.
Just not nice.
The way Lex handled himself in the Kanye interview was great.
I didn't even see it. Was it good?
Yes.
Yeah.
He really handled it very, very well. Will it make Kanye lose his mind if yet another Jewish person is running a media company? Yes. But you know what? Lex is good he's kind of a robot, and that's kind of what Twitter needs.
Yeah.
Like he has zero empathy. I don't know what Autism Capital is thinking about, but like the man wears a black suit at all times.
Yeah.
Probably to bed.
I feel like he's too similar to Elon. Like,
Yeah,
Elon-
but his whole thing
Elon's
is
a
about
robot.
podcasting and connecting with people.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting too from the social media side. Like basically this, and we're not going to have time to talk about this too much because we're getting ready to have to wrap up. But this is something I'm seeing as a big trend, and part of what's going on with Twitter is part of it. This is Ryan Selkis again, 2-bit idiot from Masari. I was already bullish on decentralized social, but I thought Elon might pose a threat. Current Twitter situation makes me giga bullish, though.
Whoa.
Free speech and control over your own algorithms, powered by crypto soon.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and so I'm very bullish on decentralized social as well. I was actually too bullish on it. I thought it was going to be here. I was bullish on it in 2018, 2019. Thought for sure by 2020, 2021, 2022, we'd all be on decentralized social and we'd have serious competitors to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the others. Now I see Twitter as being the potential number one aspect that could get, they were end-to-end encrypting the messages. They've got payments incorporated in. You've got a subscription service incorporated in. And that's where I was like, Lex Friedman, I could see, again, he is a creator. He is a podcaster. I could see him coming up with a lot of creative implementations for decentralized social. And whether it's Twitter, there's other ones out there, SoMe, Deso, Deso is one I've got my eyes on for next year. Again, it's nothing right now, but big money behind it, big minds behind it. I think we will, bold statement, within my lifetime, we will see a decentralized social media. We will be being paid peer-to-peer for our actual IP and, having a better representation for the content rather than just the platforms making all the money. I'll die on this hill. I hope it happens before I do because I've been saying it forever. So, what do you guys think? You think that's within the next cycle, or do you think that's further down the timeline?
For
Allie.
decentralized social
possible.
media?
Yeah, decentralized social media by 20, do we think we'll see a project by 2025, next bull run, rise up and be a serious competitor in that space, or are we talking 2030 and beyond?
TJ, I think you should do it.
You think I should? I'm a little busy. Got a lot going on these days. Maybe, well, there's a sneaky path to decentralized social through Vimeo, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I feel like we'll see it in the 25, 26 bull run, but we won't know that's it.
We'll see
Yeah.
it. We won't realize it.
Yeah, we'll see it. We won't know it, and we will know it by 2032. That's what I think.
See, chat tends to agree. Crypto Stevo, tough question. Most likely 2 cycles from now. We got 2030 plus.
After 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like a whole new, brand new platform.
There's no
or-
power vacuum yet, right? Like we need someone big to fail.
Yeah.
Like Meta has to go down, or
Why, though?
TikTok. because that will create a power a innovation vacuum. So a whole bunch of new money is going to come into it. There will be opportunities there because right now, all you got to do is come up with a social media widget and then you get bought.
Right.
There is no impetus to make a new platform.
That's true. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I do too. I have to go. It's 2:00. I'm just trying to think of the different I mean, we're gonna have to keep this conversation going because it's an interesting one. We've seen some of them, Parler and Truth, and some of them kind of rise up and kind of crash out. I feel bad. McGab, my brother uses a lot. What's the other one?
What's your feed? Chemistry Bro said.
Your feed is
Grinder, right?
Grinder's huge.
Yeah, Grinder's huge.
Discord's a sneaky one. See, that's what I'm saying. It could be an iteration or an innovation on things that are currently existing. Hyper, meh, yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of the decentralized blockchain based ones. They got a ways to go. I'll say that much. But anyway, we love you guys. We care about you guys. As always, it's another Monday. Stay safe out there. Buy Bitcoin. Be nice to your friends. Take care of each other.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for hanging out in the basement.
See you at the top.
Let's go.
Have a happy holiday.